welcome to the very first episode of our brand new podcast, My Sister's TBR. I'm Rebecca.
I'm Stacy, and we will be co-hosting a bookish podcast based on all things bookish. Past, current, and future reads, everything that's new in the book world that we care about.
Yep, the important things. Our favorite authors, our favorite genres, etc., etc.
Favorite books.
Yep. So basically just keeping it interesting.
Spoiler-free.
Spoiler-free. That is the most important thing. So we're not going to be going off of like the synopsis too much. So anything that you can find like on the back of a book.
Pretty well what we'll be talking about.
Yeah. Just including our opinions. We will not be talking about trigger warnings.
Yes.
Because
we don't have them.
Yeah. Which, don't hold that against us. Don't cancel us for that. We're
Do
very
your
thankful.
own research.
Yes. But we'll just be giving our own ratings and opinions.
And we'll be doing an episode on the 15th of every month and the last day of every month. So keep an eye out on our Instagram for those posts.
Instagram handle, My Sister's TBR. All lowercase, no spaces.
No spaces. My Sister's TBR.
And for anybody who doesn't know what a TBR is, it's a to-be-read list.
A pile or bookshelves. So many haven't been read.
800 books.
Yeah.
Well, not 800 that haven't been read, but...
Close. Okay, well, not really, but...
Okay. So, just a little bit of a history on us. We're obviously sisters. I know we're going to sound a lot alike. We get that a lot, especially when we record, like, us singing.
Yeah, sounds like the same person.
Yeah, we have to harmonize, attempt to anyway, just so that you can pick out that we're not just one person.
Two people.
Yeah. So I know that's going to be kind of hard starting off, especially for anybody who doesn't know us.
But just know that the one that mumbles a lot is Stacy. The one that's a little more giggly and more articulate.
Rebecca. But yeah, so personally, I haven't read very much in my lifetime. 26 years. I only just started reading when I turned like 22, 23. Around that time. All through high school, never read a book.
I didn't read a lot throughout high school. It was mainly like, well, I mean, I'd read Harry Potter as it was coming out. Same thing with like Twilight. But we don't have to go there. But yeah, like I did read quite a bit like leading up to my adult years, but definitely my adult years have been, not that I had more time to read. I just guess I just needed that escape.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, you need that balance.
Okay. So do you know what your total books read is?
I want to say it was, well, I mean, I only read 43 last year. Probably 20. I think it's like up in like the 60s, 70s. Like it's not very much for like 26 years.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think too that you only just started really the last couple years. So
that's true.
I think 40 plus books in a year is, you know,
that's
pretty good.
Yep.
Last year was like a crazy year for me. I don't think I will ever be able to attempt another like 75 to 80 book year.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. But like I also wasn't really working that much last year either.
Yeah. And
just being sat on the floor with the baby. Because she couldn't independently play for like the first year of her life. So that, yeah. But the downside with that too is not being able to read physical. Like I had to but I read a lot faster when it's ebooks. I found on my Kindle, I was just like speeding through books.
See, and I've heard that from a lot of people. Like I went a year and a half without even opening my Kindle. But just lately, I'm like, that's all I've been reading.
Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
This is not like, we're in no way endorsed by Amazon or Kindle Unlimited. But
just our opinion. Again.
Yeah, that I think is what really kickstarted my reading. Like, because I got into the mindset that, okay, I'm paying like, I think it was $9.99 a month. So I said, at least read one book a month and I'll make it worth it.
Oh my God.
And then I end up reading like 12 books a month. Yeah. 13, 14.
Because it's so easy.
It's like, so easy to find books. They're free. And I find a lot of, now, not all Kindle Unlimited books, but just a lot of the books that I found on Kindle Unlimited were like the fluffy, just easy to read. Like you could shut your brain off and just read. Enjoy. And yes. And I think that's why a lot of the books that I read last year, like there was very few fantasy, very few that involved brain cells. No offense to any of the books that I did read or the authors. They were fantastic books. But I wasn't focusing on, like,
world, like, setup.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like...
Zodiac Academy was, and again, like, that's going to be brought up again when we talk about our top books of 2022. Spoiler. But, like, I found that was good at world building.
Yeah.
Like, really good.
I need to read that.
Yeah, because it was just so easy to read, and plus, like, you were just, like, invested in these people's story.
And I feel like where you grew up with Harry Potter.
Oh, like, it definitely.
Like a different...
Yeah, it felt like a grown-ups version of Harry Potter.
And, like, that's heaven right there.
I mean, the spice was... I have to read the rest of them because I still haven't read all of them, but yeah, a priority for 2023 is for you to start the Zodiac Academy just to get a feel for it, to see if you like it. Because I know, like you said, you wanted to get into fantasy, but was kind of afraid of the world building and how heavy it can be.
Yeah. I was like, it took me so long just to get through the first, like, I want to say 10 pages. Mm-hmm. It was just like that TikTok that you showed me. Like, just like the mumbling of words. Like, my brain makes up. I know I should probably...
I'm going to be saying that, like, all day again.
I know I should probably Google words that I don't know how to pronounce, but I don't do that.
That's where Kindle Unlimited helps, because you just... like, long press on a word and it'll, like, bring up a definition of it. Now, granted, it's not a made up word, but
I mean, it still helps.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know a lot of people say, like, oh my gosh, like, you're so smart for reading. Like,
if you knew what I read, you wouldn't say that.
If you knew the content, I am not smart. My brain makes up half of the pronunciations.
I have lots of new ideas, but none that can be repeated.
Okay. PG.
Yes.
Parents will be listening to this. Yes. Okay. So that's just a little bit of a gist on us.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay. So first up on our agenda, I guess, technically, we're just going to be discussing our top 3 favorite books of 2022. This was hard for both of us to narrow down. Yeah. Especially, like, you, out of all of your books.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Now, if we had to give maybe we should do a 3 least favorite books of 2022 as well, because I have some doozies.
You have, yeah.
I have thrown my Kindle across the bedroom so many times.
See, I don't think
You haven't read any, like, bad books? Okay, maybe... okay, I'm the type that once I start a book, I have to finish it. I don't care how bad it is.
Except for that book that I kept telling you.
Oh, yeah, that's right, too. Yeah, there's, like, 3 books, I think, on my DNF shelf. And one of them is that book. I'm sorry.
It's so spicy.
I know, but I couldn't connect. I couldn't...
There's no connection to a 3-some and a 4-some book, okay?
PG!
Sorry, Mom, Dad. Okay. So on my number 1, I know Stacey is also going to.
This is yes.
Pen Pal by J.T. Geissinger. I apologize if I butchered that pronunciation. Genre is romance, paranormal, erotica. Dark, emotional, mysterious, and it's medium-paced read. So then the synopsis is, the first letter arrived the day my husband was buried. It was postmarked from the state penitentiary and contained a single sentence. I'll wait forever if I have to. It was signed by Dante, a man I didn't know. Out of simple curiosity, I wrote back to ask him what exactly he was waiting for. His reply? You. I told the mystery man he had the wrong girl. He said he didn't. I said we'd never met, but he said I was wrong. We went back and forth, exchanging letters every week that grew increasingly more intimate. Then one day, the letters stopped. When I found out why, it was already too late. Dante was at my doorstep, and nothing on earth could have prepared me for what happened next. Oh. I feel like that is such... Like, well, okay, I didn't read this before going into this book.
No, me neither. Like, totally blind.
When you give me recommendations, I just go for it.
Yeah.
Like, I trust your input completely. And I'm so, like, I feel like that's very vague.
It is it's misleading almost.
So misleading. Like, this book, The Spice, I know whoever follows, like, my personal account on Instagram, I put up a review on this on my Instagram story one day, and so some of you might already know this, but I rated, like, The Spice 5 out of 5, the romance was 5 out of 5, the main male character, oh my god.
Yep.
Like, I just pictured like 6'5", like 200 plus pounds, covered in tattoos.
Yeah.
Like he is dark, mysterious. Like he is.
Yes, like the title that comes to mind is Daddy.
Yeah. Very fitting. Yes. I have never cried so hard. Like that one line.
The pictures that you sent me.
Literally I had to document that. I bawled because like the first picture I sent, I was coming down from my cry, right? I was like, okay, like this is fine. And then there was one line and I broke down. Yeah. It was the floodgates. I was
unraveled.
Done. Yeah. Oh my God. But like paranormal aspect to it, but it was like in a very tasteful way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it didn't feel cringy at all. I didn't find it cringy. I don't know. Maybe there's people out there, like some of the Goodreads reviews were like 1 star. I was just like, how?
I get that everybody has their own opinion.
Yeah.
But they're wrong. This book, I still think about it. Stacey, you still think about it like, oh my God.
It lives rent-free.
Yeah. I can't wait to reread it. Oh, it was beautiful. Book number 2, Nobody Cancel Us, Please, because I know that half of the book community does not like Colleen Hoover. Just Colleen Hoover just her writing holds a part, like, in my heart. Like, I can't help it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so my second favorite book of 2022 was Slammed by Colleen Hoover. Genre was high school romance, it's definitely YA, and it had poetry. So it was emotional and a medium-paced book again. It was a very, very easy read. The synopsis, following the unexpected death of her father, 18-year-old Lakin is forced to be the rock for her mother and her younger brother. Outwardly, she appears resilient and tenacious, but inwardly, she's losing hope. Enter Will Cooper. I love him. The attractive 21-year-old new neighbor with an intriguing passion for slam poetry and a unique sense of humor. Within days of their introduction, Will and Lakin form an intense emotional connection, leaving Lakin with a renewed sense of hope. Not long after an intense, heart-stopping first date, they are slammed to the core when a shocking revelation forces their new relationship to a sudden halt. Daily interactions become impossibly painful as they struggle to find a balance between the feelings that pull them together and the secret that keeps them apart. I think the main part of this book that really, like, has my claws in it is the poetry. Because like
I can see that.
I haven't read many books that like really dive into like the poetry. I don't know, like not like novels like this. Like
it's honestly, I think it's the first that I've heard.
Like, okay, at least I'm not just like living under a rock here.
No, I don't think so, because it seems like it's such a delicate thing to bring into a novel. Like it's two totally different forms of writing.
Yeah.
It's like opening a novel and having like song lyrics, or it's not something that
which again Colleen is also very good at doing, because with the Maybe Someday series. Anyway, it's a whole different thing.
I haven't read that.
That's good. Like I've never actually been to like a slam poetry event, but I would love to, especially after this book. Oh my gosh. But like a man who likes poetry,
tugs on the heartstrings.
Yep. Amazing. Okay. Anyway, again, book number 3 for 2022 was another Colleen Hoover book, which I know a lot of people are going to agree with this book, Verity. Thriller, romance, dark, mysterious, tense, fast-paced. This was pretty different for a Colleen Hoover book, because most of her books are like very romance and very like bad boy
fluffy,
meets,
feel good,
fluffy.
Sort of.
Synopsis. Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, again, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home, ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of what really happened the day her daughter died. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents would devastate the already grieving father. But as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue to love her. This book, oh my god. I remember, so I read this like closer to the beginning of 2022. This feels like a lifetime ago. Oh my god. I remember I was out at a party and I specifically left early so I could go home and finish reading this. Like, I was up until like 3 a.m. and I was like curled up in the corner of the couch and I was like, man, like, I was nervous. Like, there were certain scenes where I was like, okay, I hear a creak out there.
Yeah.
In the hallway.
I love books like that.
Whoo! Wow. Like, did not expect it to like hit that good. And then I know like there's like a controversy between like, is the manuscript real? Did she make it up? Right? So there was like a back and forth with that. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Just take my word. Just read it.
I haven't read it yet.
You have not read this yet?
No. It's been on my TBR for literally like forever. And I still have not read it.
For anybody who can't see me right now, my mouth is open.
Jaw is on the floor.
Oh my God,
yeah.
Stacey.
I know. I've been really wanting to. I just haven't had the means yet.
I know, but it's so good. Oh my god. She actually just released a new edition. It's hardcover. Oh my god, it's beautiful. And it actually has a new chapter in it.
I've seen that she's been doing that with a few of her.
Yes, which is like, I love that. Like, she did that with the Maybe Someday series, I think, as well, or one of those books in that series. I love that. But yeah, so again, please don't cancel us just because Colleen Hoover is on my favorite book of the year. She's still a really good writer. Now to you, Stacey.
Thank you, Rebecca. I know this was like a favorite of both of ours. Flock. By Kate Stewart. That whole series. I still haven't finished the third book, but I am in the process. There's so much that you can say about those books. So it's a romance. It's dark, emotional, mysterious. It's another medium-paced book. I grew up sick. Let me clarify. I grew up believing that real love stories include a martyr or demand great sacrifice to be worthy. Because of that, I believed it. Because I made myself believe it. And I bred the most masochistic of romantic hearts, which resulted in my illness. When I lived this story, my own twisted fairy tale, it was unbeknownst to me at the time because I was young and naive. I gave in to temptation and fed the beating beast, which grew thirstier with every slash, every strike, every blow. Triple Falls wasn't at all what it seemed, nor were the men that swept me under their wing. But in order to keep them, I had to be in on their secrets that cost us everything to keep. That's the novelty of fiction versus reality. You can't relive your own love story because by the time you realize you're living it, it's over. At least, that was the case for me and the men I trusted my foolish heart to. Looking back, I'm convinced I willed my story into existence due to my illness, and all were punished. Like, what?
Oh, yeah. That... 10.
It really honestly was to me. Like, I know, like, again, some people just, they don't agree with these opinions, but I don't know. I devoured that book.
Like, chapter 24, I think it was? Ooh.
Yeah, I think you read it before me because you had given me the heads up to...
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I'm like 2 chapters away, come on.
Yeah, everybody who reads that I tell like them to read, I'm just like, keep an eye out for chapter 24.
Yeah. That was intense. That whole...
For one, how does it make sense for that to physically happen? The floaty scene.
I don't know.
Like, okay, but we're just gonna use our imaginations here.
Yeah, and then the second book that completely ripped hearts out and then mended said hearts. It was a great book. It was probably, it wasn't my all-time favorite. Pen Pal was still my all-time favorite of last year.
Yeah. But still, still a good runner-up.
Yeah. Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. So this one is, I think I found this one on TikTok. I think. A lot of people were talking about it, and I was like, I have to know what this is all about.
Yeah, you can trust the TikTok recommendations.
I think so. So far, other than there was a couple that I gave like really low ratings to, but we'll get to that later episodes.
Yep.
So this is a fantasy romance paranormal. Adventurous, dark, mysterious, and this one was fast-paced. And boy, was it ever fast-paced. It's basically, like we said, like Harry Potter for adults. And I devoured it. And I know, like, there have been people that I've recommended it to that have also, like, surpassed me in reading it. Like, I got to, I think, like, book 4, book 5, it started to, like, almost, like, double in size. I was like, that was when it started to get a bit daunting for me. Like,
it's intimidating.
Yeah. You have been selected to attend Zodiac Academy, where your star sign defines your destiny. If you're one of the Fae, elemental magic is in your blood, and apparently it's in ours. As twins born in the month of Gemini, we're a rare breed, even in this academy of supernatural a-holes. Changelings were outlawed hundreds of years ago, but I guess our birth parents didn't get the memo, which means we're totally unprepared for the ruthless world of Fae. Air, fire, water, earth. No one has ever harnessed all 4 of them until we arrived. And it hasn't made us any friends so far. As the rarest elementals ever known, we're already a threat to the 4 celestial heirs. The popular vindictive bullies who happen to be some of the hottest guys we've ever seen. It doesn't help that they're the most dangerous beasts in the academy. And probably on Earth too. Our fates are intertwined, but they want us gone. They've only got until the lunar eclipse to force us out, and they'll stop at nothing to succeed. We never knew we had a birthright to live up to, but now that we do, we intend to claim our throne. We can't expect any help from the faculty when it comes to defending ourselves. So if the dragon shifters want some target practice, the werewolves want someone to hunt, or the vampires fancy a snack, then we have to be ready. But we've been looking after each other for a long time, and fighting back is in our blood. Today's horoscope, totally screwed. Like, you've got werewolves and vampires and, like, dragons and mer people. Like, there's just so much just in one novel. Like, in one series.
Yeah.
That is just total fantasy, but it's easy to get into. It's a fast-paced novel, so it's quick going. Like, there's not a lot of world building, I feel, because if you've read any fantasy, you have some knowledge of vampires, werewolves, stuff like that, right?
True.
So I felt like it wasn't I don't know. I just it didn't feel heavy to me when I was reading it.
Didn't seem like too daunting.
So, the next novel that I had on my top of 2022, these aren't in any particular order. Like, it's just the 3 that I really enjoyed in 2022. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It's contemporary romance, emotional, funny, lighthearted, and medium paced. And I know that you're currently reading that. So.
Yes. I'm on, like, page 3. But I'm liking it so far.
Okay.
I can tell, like,
it starts out strong, right?
Yeah.
So the synopsis is, one summer, 2 rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. Nora Stevens' life is books. She's read them all, and she's not that type of heroine. Not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is heroine for are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved little sister Libby, which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina for the month of August when Libby begs her for a sister's trip away. With visions of a small-town transformation for Nora, who she's convinced needs to become the heroine in her own story. But instead of picnics in meadows or run-ins with handsome country doctor or bulging forearm bartenders, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra, a bookish, brooding editor from back in the city. It would be a meet cute if not for the fact that they've met many times and it's never been cute. If Nora knows she's not an ideal heroine, Charlie knows he's nobody's hero. But as they are thrown together again and again in a series of coincidences no editor worth their salt would allow, what they discover might just unravel the carefully crafted stories they've written about themselves.
I love those books so much.
Yeah. So it's like enemies to lovers, 100%. Like, it's just, it was, yeah.
We love that. We're here for that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to continue reading that. I had to put it on pause. There's too much going on right now.
Yeah.
But I will get to it. It just sounds so cute.
It really is. And, like, I liked both the characters. Their, like, chemistry together. They, like, the banter. Oh my gosh. And, I mean, Charlie, like, he's an a-hole at the start, but he was just so charming too. Like, I don't know. Emily Henry's books, like, I've read a few of them now, and she's really good. She's a really good writer. And, like, she's got another one coming out in April, but we'll talk about that when we get closer to April. Yeah.
But for now, we will just let you know what highly anticipated books have been released in January. And now, this is completely our opinion. This is just a couple that we thought were worth bringing up or that we thought were really interesting. Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. This was released January 3rd. It is a YA romance, and the plot is a laugh-out-loud story about a quirky content creator and a clean-cut athlete testing their abilities to survive the great outdoors and each other. It's only 336 pages. I feel like that's a decent amount. But it just sounds so cute.
Like, opposites attract.
Yeah.
Is YA, so it's going to be so sweet. You know it's going to be sweet.
Yeah, we love that. We love a good romance. And then All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham. That just came out January 10th. This is a thriller mystery. And the plot is 1 year ago, Isabel Drake's life changed forever. Her toddler son, Mason, was taken out of his crib in the middle of the night while she and her husband were asleep in the next room. With little evidence and few leads for the police to chase, the case quickly went cold. In hopes of jarring loose a new witness or buried clues, she agrees to be interviewed by a true crime podcaster, but his interest in Isabel's past makes her nervous. But she is determined to figure out the truth no matter where it leads. This is another 326-page book, another good size, but that just sounds really intense.
It sounds like I don't know if I could read it, having a toddler myself, right? But I feel like that is probably a reason to read it.
True. You might learn something. Here in this small town, you never know.
A Guide to Being Just Friends by Sophie Sullivan. This is coming out January 17th. It's number 3 in the Jansen Brothers series. It's romance. When Harry Meets Sally meets 500 Days of Summer. Sounds promising. Haley Sharp has a one-track mind. Get By the Cup salad shop off the ground. Do literally everything possible to make it a success. Repeat. With a head full of entrepreneurial ideas and a bad ex in her rear view, her one and only focus is living life the way she wants to. No distractions until Wes Jensen enters the picture.
Oh, like that.
Do we know if this is standalone? Like, can we read this one without the others? I mean, I'll probably still go back and read the others. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. Yep. Yep.
And then on January 24th, The Minuscule Mansion of Myra Malone by Audrey Burgers. So the genre is fantasy. Love that. Plot. Myra Malone blogs about a dollhouse mansion and has thousands of followers, but the mansion is more than it seems, as rooms disappear and reappear overnight. Across the country, Alex is shocked to see someone recreating his bedroom. Alex and Myra correspond to trace the stories that entwine them. That sounds... It put me really in the mind of House of Leaves. And I know we've discussed House of Leaves. I won't go into it here because, I mean, how do you summarize that into a few seconds?
That's a lot.
But it really did give me, like, kind of that kind of vibe, and I'm all for that.
It sounds so interesting.
Yeah,
like,
I'm really
interested.
Wait to read it. Yeah. So it seems like the 4 main books that we've been looking forward to out of this month are all, like, 330 pages, 320 pages.
Like,
we're not big book readers, apparently.
No. Like, we like goals. We like to see how many books we can read. Like, I just read a 36-page book.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm currently reading another, like, 32-page book. Hey.
Little babies.
They
need love.
They need love, too. They deserve it. They're still really good. They go towards your reading goal.
Like, I think it takes a really good author to write a good short story, I find. Like, if you can grasp the attention of readers, keep it, and then, like, really blow their minds in 30 pages, that, I think...
That takes
is
skill.
A feat.
Oh my god, yes. Because, like, you need to cram as much information as possible to get somebody to actually enjoy your book.
And be invested in what happens.
In 30-something pages.
Yeah. Yep.
Power to you. Oh my goodness.
So what is it that you're currently reading?
So right now I'm juggling 2 different books right now. So I just started reading this yesterday as I was waiting to pick up my niece from school. This is called The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. It has like 4.5-star ratings. It's psychological thriller, mystery, suspense. Like it's good so far. I'm only a couple pages in, but like it just, I don't know. The start of it, like this guy, the main guy, is just sat down at an airport at the bar, and then this like pretty girl comes up, and like he finds out that his wife is cheating on him, and that's all I know so far. And then the other book I'm reading is actually a suggestion by my friend Ange. God of Malice. Mm-hmm. She's always raved about this book. It's like rival schools, like universities. This main guy, his name is Killer, and he is like a psychopath.
Oh.
I will spare everybody the dirty details, but wow.
Okay.
He is pure villain, and like the things he says. Good Lord. Yep. It's very, very good. It's God of Malice by Rina Kent. It's part of the Legacy of Gods series. Never heard of it, honestly, before now. But very good. It's just It's 468 pages. I thought it was, but see, reading it on the Kindle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm floating through it. Like, I'm almost done now. But I love it. Mm-hmm. It's very much like enemies to lovers.
Okay.
10 out of 10. And then I'm literally like 2 pages into book lovers, but that's on pause right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm juggling those 2 books right now. That's it. What about you?
So I'm reading the 3rd Demon's Queen Trials book by Susanne Crawford, is Garden of Serpents. That's fantasy, but it's easy to read fantasy.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe even another series that you should look into.
Definitely.
It's good. It's taken me a while to read this one. I read the first one back early last year, and I was looking forward to the release of Garden of Serpents, but like it's just sort of kept getting pushed while I was reading other books, and so there was a big break in between book 2 and book 3 for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been hard to get back into at all, but I'm forgetting a lot from the first 2 books, and I'm not reading it as quickly as I would other books because I'm kind of like struggling a bit, so it's...
Mm-hmm. When you lose those like main details or like some of the details, it just takes... I find I lose interest then. I'm like, okay, I don't remember who this person is.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still like a really good book, and I really do like Susanne Crawford's writing. There's a ton of other books like that are very like similar, like Angels and Demons, Vampires, like she's got like all sorts of different book series. The other one I'm reading is The Inheritance Games. That's for the book club. That has been a really good book so far. I'm trying to pace myself to hit the milestones at the dates that we like had specified. But I really do want to just read it all in one sitting. Like it's a mystery. Like this girl inherits all this money from this old man that like she has no connection to whatsoever. Just shows up. Hey, by the way, you inherited like however many $1 billion of...
Can this happen to me, please?
Right. and it's like the family is like, why this random girl? Like, what connection does she have with the grandfather and all this? And so that is a very dulled down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
you can't give any spoilers.
No, and it's like puzzles, and like I'm reading this, like I feel like I have to put on like my Nancy Drew get up, and
I like that.
You know, like the puzzles and the like trying to piece it all together. It's just been great.
Very interesting.
I'm also listening to the audiobook for Priest.
So you're listening to porn.
Yes, basically. It's been taking me a while to get through, but mainly because I'm terrified somebody's going to hear it. So
just put your headphones in.
Yeah. The other book that I have started again reading is the book that we featured for this month. Yes. Lucy Score book, Things We Never Got Over. I loved this book when I read it last year. It's a bigger book, like Enemies to Lovers. Like he's dead set on not wanting to help Naomi, right? Like because
give it time.
Oh yes, because like she is, well, her twin Tina is the one that like caused all this havoc in this town. Like really bad name. Naomi shows up and they think it's Tina.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so like she's like setting them straight that like no, like I'm her twin or whatever. And then he somehow gets like kind of stuck into helping her, but he doesn't let anybody else help her.
Okay, so
right,
it's like territorial.
He's territorial. Yeah, so
that's
like
how it always starts out.
Yes. So again, that was like the first like 5 pages of the book. There's so much more to it than that. But yeah, so that's what I am reading right now.
You're juggling a lot.
I am, and it's starting to get a little confusing.
Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
Yeah.
But speaking of the things we never got over, that is now going to be our featured read for January's month. For whoever is listening, if there is anybody listening to us, if you don't follow our social media, you didn't see our post about it. So basically, every month we're going to be having a thing that we call a featured read. Mm-hmm. A book that we are going to post on our social media at the beginning of each month, and then at the end of month episode, so the last day of the month, we will be discussing spoiler-free that book.
How we rated it.
Yeah. Review, rate, opinions, thoughts, concerns, inquiries.
All while trying to stay spoiler-free. It's going to be difficult, I think. But
it's going to be fine.
You can read along with us, and at the end of the month, you join in on the discussion. I mean, send us messages on Instagram, comment on the post, give us your thoughts on it, and
we'll include that in our discussion then in our end of month episode. So that'll be cool, if you want to get your name in there. And all of our, probably 5 listeners.
We probably lost them when you started talking about threesomes and foursomes, so...
Hey, I only want the good ones to stick with us. So if that interests you, just stick with us. We'll show you where to go.
So the Things We Never Got Over book it's number 1 of the Knock 'Em Out series. The next one is coming out in February. So hint. It's a big book. I mean, it's 572 pages.
I need to start that.
You do. You have
ASAP. Yeah. I'm not good with big books, man, as you can tell.
But just listen to this description, though. Okay. Bearded bad boy barber Knox. I mean, even the name,
right
Knox.
there. I don't even need to hear anything else. Like, I'm hooked.
Okay. That's it.
Continue.
Roll credits. Prefers to live his life the way he takes his coffee, alone. Unless you count his basset hound, Waylon. Knox doesn't tolerate drama, even when it comes in the form of a stranded runaway bride. Naomi wasn't just running away from her wedding. She was riding to the rescue of her estranged twin to Knock 'Em Out, Virginia, a rough-around-the-edges town where disputes are settled the old-fashioned way, with fists and beer, usually in that order. Too bad for Naomi, her evil twin hasn't changed at all. After helping herself to Naomi's car and cash, Tina leaves her with something unexpected, the niece Naomi didn't know she had. Now she's stuck in town with no car, no job, no plan, and no home, with an 11-year-old going on 30 to take care of. There's a reason Knox doesn't do complications or high-maintenance women, especially not the romantic ones. But since Naomi's life imploded right in front of him, the least he can do is help her out of her jam. And just as soon as she stops getting into new trouble, he can leave her alone and go back to his peaceful, solitary life. At least that's the plan until the trouble turns to real danger.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, see that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that it's you already read it.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad that it's a big book, because I find, there's so many books that I read and it's only, 300 pages, and I'm like, I want there to be more pages.
Yes.
I'm not ready to end this yet.
There was a point in this novel, and I'm sure anybody else who read it will know what I'm talking about, but there's a point where it felt like it was done. Like, the novel was, that's where it ended. But then it was just bang, doors wide open again, and here's a whole other section of their life. So,
okay, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there are a couple of my friends who have already started that book, and they started it before we even announced the featured read, right? So, you guys are ready. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. I will be personally messaging you. If you don't message me with your thoughts, I will be getting it.
We will hound.
Yep. So if there's any specific books or authors or genres or anything that you guys actually want to hear us talk about in future episodes, definitely send us a message or a comment. Just
let us know what will keep you guys listening. Because we could sit here and talk all day about complete nonsense that you guys don't care about, but we would like to have this as a community thing, involve everybody.
Yep. Yeah, so just again, give us a follow on Instagram, my sister's TBR, and every episode is going to be somewhat different. Like, we're not going to be just, like, talking about the same boring nonsense every single episode. Like, we're going to be trying to switch it up every episode. Every couple of months, we're going to have, like, specific genres or authors that we're going to focus on. Shoot us your requests. If there's, like, a certain one that you really want us to read and you want us to talk about and make it a featured book, we'll definitely take some recommendations into consideration. Whoever is listening, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for the support. It's been fun.